More news, more conversation, more guests. Now you're listening to your parents' radio station. We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Good morning, Chicago, and welcome to the Borges Report. I'm attorney Ernesto Borges, along with Don Rashid and Mark Wallace. And
absentee?
Missing in action, AWOL, all the above. I imagine Mark will be here in a second. But good morning, Don. How are you?
Good morning, Ernesto.
Great. We are the Borges Report. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on WVON 1690 a.m., the Talk of Chicago. And we are a lively, spirited, interactive digest of public affairs, news, topical issues, and features of interest to
Thinking people.
And today being Sunday, February the 20th, 2011, 2 days from Election Day here in Chicago.
That's right.
Right? And as a result,
Spinning out of the turn.
Spinning out of the turn, as Phil George F. used to say. We've got a special guest in the studio today, Bill Doc Walls. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, and it's a pleasure to be here. Happy Sunday.
Right. Happy Sunday. My Kappa brother, I may also
No doubt about it.
mention.
That part we won't
Phi
hold
Nu
against
Pi.
either one of you. We will
Got
not.
this alpha over here between us.
That's okay.
And I worked with this gentleman in the Sawyer administration, and I never know he kept it on the QT.
Oh no, he didn't. He wore that.
Yeah.
He wore that crimson and cream all over the place.
Everywhere I went.
Everywhere he went.
Wore it on my sleeve.
Everywhere I go.
I love you anyway, Bill.
People want to know who we are.
Where do we
I
come
wouldn't
from?
tell him.
We are Kappa. Well,
Mighty,
so no-
mighty Kappa.
All right, folks. So, as usual, we talk about a lot of topics. We're going to have Bill to come back in a few minutes. We just want to give you a little bit about our rundown today, huh, Don? We've got, as we said, Tuesday is Election Day. And will Chicago black community flex its collective muscle to demonstrate that it is a political force to be reckoned with? Or will it concede the mayoralty to front runners without asserting itself? So we're
Certainly hope not.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, that the black community, whether you feel that the front runners has a lock on the race or not, the black community owes it to itself to show that it is a force to be reckoned with, that our causes and interests should be recognized.
Yeah, I think that realistically, the best we can hope for right now is a runoff to bring out. I think some of the other issues need to be explored
That's
a little further. So,
Essentially what I'm talking about.
since we know that I'm sure everybody in Chicagoland knows now that in this nonpartisan mayoral race, as is the election itself, even for alderman and city clerk and city treasurer, you have to have 50% plus one, or more than 50% of the vote, in order for there not to be a runoff election. So there may be some aldermanic runoffs. I'm sure there will be. And,
Yes.
And there could
Some
be other-
long-time incumbents may
Yeah.
be in jeopardy there.
Yeah, and certainly the mayoral race is a big one. But we will see on Tuesday, so we still encourage everybody to come out and vote on Tuesday. And it is very,
Exercise
very
your
important.
constitutional franchise.
That's
Vote.
right.
Vote your interests.
Right. And as we said, Bill Doc Walls is in the studio with us. After we complete the rundown and maybe take a few callers, and we will come back to Bill. Kudos to and big ups to Urban Prep Academy on its... All right.
Well,
That Tina? Is that Tina? Yeah.
And Barry
It's-
White.
And Barry White. Oh, really? You mixed that?
no, they recorded it.
Did they really? On its entire graduating class of 104 students being accepted to various colleges for the second consecutive year. And that's Urban Prep Academy.
Kudos and big
Kudos
ups.
to Tim King and his crew, his academy, his cadre of academics over there, and teachers and faculty, and to the students, certainly.
And to the students. For the second year in a row, they
yeah.
sent every member of the graduating class
to a
college.
four-year college. And I was at the luncheon last year, which was held at Harry Carey's, and they had 107 graduates, 100% graduate rate, and 100% of them went to had gotten accepted to four-year colleges, all the way from somewhere in California, Connecticut, New England states, New York, Howard University, and it was just a wonderful thing. So it just goes to show you, and these are not in the most affluent of neighborhoods, the Inglewood area, South Shore area, and it just goes to show you that we can achieve.
Right,
And how
young men
important-
can achieve. It's a different.
You know, I saw the movie Superman.
Yes,
and
I saw
Waiting
that.
for Superman or something, and just goes to show you what
WVON hosted
Did they?
that
Yeah.
screening over there at the.
But it shows you what can be done, but it shows you what's not being done in our education system. So it needs a lot of help. But you just see that it can work, and black children can achieve.
And black young men
and black
especially.
men especially who have
Especially.
such a high dropout rate. You know, we have to change a lot of things about the way that we think, we operate. I have to tell this quick story because it's been on my mind.
Okay.
Last, I think it was Thursday night, a friend of mine called me. He says, my son got fired from his job out, and he lives in Long Beach, California. And I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's in California. I don't know how much I can. He said, would you talk to him? I said, fine. I called him. So I called the young man. It was about 7:30 at night to see what had happened. I get this a lot, but the more he talked, the more I could see that he had been discriminated against. And during my conversation with him, the phone rang, new client, and I said, ma'am, I'll call you back in a minute. I'm on an important call. And, you know, I continued talking to her, and then she called back about 5 minutes later. And I said, ma'am, I told you I'll call you back. I'm on a call. She said, oh, don't bother. I'll call a white attorney. Maybe he wants to talk to me. And, you know, and then I tried to go back talking to the brother, but I couldn't focus. I said, you know what, let me call you right back. And I called this woman. I said, why would you do that to me? I said, I'm on the phone talking to a brother in California who, on my dime, who lost his job, who was discriminated against, and you called me to tell me, don't bother, I'll call a white attorney. And I can't tell you how much that hurt me. I mean, I was almost tearful that here I am trying to help somebody and been discriminated, and all she could say to me is, don't bother, I'll call a white attorney. And I called her, she apologized.
Yes.
But, and then she said, oh, well, I know who you are, I hear you on the radio, and so it's not like she didn't know, you know, some of the things that I try to do to help people in the community. But we still have some of that mentality out there.
I don't know.
You know?
She expect you to have a cape on and just bust through the walls.
You know, I told her I'd call her back. I
I
said, I'll call you back. And I did call her back, and I even called New York to the creditor that was, I made another on my dime, called New York to help the lady, even after what she had said to me. But, you know, these are some of the things that we need to let go as a people and put some confidence in our own people, you know, including this mayoral race that's coming up.
Basic
But,
respect. Basic
basic respect. It's you know, sometimes it's a thankless job. You know, you try to educate, edify, and sometimes it doesn't work that way. Obama. Let's talk about the Obama, the 44 file a little bit. Oh, good morning, Mark.
Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Decided
morning,
to
Mark.
join us.
Well,
Now, I didn't say anything, but Don told everybody in the world that you were AWOL. Missing in action. Late.
I merely
running a little
wanted
bit late here, but I'm here.
merely wanted you to get a note from whomever.
Yeah.
Whomever.
Yeah. Did he bring a note?
Well, you know, at least I
Well,
can
Chuck-
drive myself
Chuck,
every
did he
week.
bring a note? No, Chuck is indicating no.
He said that he can drive himself every week, Don.
I don't need a permission slip for that.
All right.
Good to be here, though.
Yeah.
Pretty inside joke. You know, we don't do that in radio.
Yeah, right. Obama unveils a $3.7 million budget.
And he's getting it
Trillion.
from all sides.
Yeah.
$1 trillion.
Oh, yeah. You put $1 million budget. I said, that doesn't seem quite right.
That kind of sounds like my budget.
Don,
Yeah.
That's a
yeah,
small
Don,
budget.
that's your budget, Don. You put there 3.7 million. It's
Trillion.
Trillion
with a T.
Yeah.
My calculator ran out of space.
They spend that in about a minute.
Yeah. And nobody's happy.
And no one's happy.
Republicans are not happy. Democrats are not happy. I guess he said it's a thankless job also. Huh?
Well, that's his effort
Yeah,
to
well, I think they're
move to
going
the
to
center.
start to change that around as to what's going on in Wisconsin and Florida and all these other places where they're trying to bust the union. So I think that's going to be a big pushback, and I think that the progressive and Democrats are going to wake up to see that we must get involved with this process to see what the Republicans are trying to do to the labor force and to working people every day.
Yeah, I guess we had some recent Indiana residents coming to our state, huh? Legislators.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. What did I say?
Wisconsin.
They're
You
still
said
here.
Indiana.
Yeah, that's in Indiana. They're Wisconsin residents coming to Illinois. Maybe some of them went to Indiana too. I don't know, but they ran out of the state. I think they sent some state troopers after
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Well, they sent him at one
legislators.
of the legislators home to see if he was there.
Right, and they had initially went to Rockford. I saw someone doing a news interview from Chicago,
Yeah.
apparently at the Tribune. And so this budget that the president it involves sharp cuts to federal programs, higher taxes on the wealthy and businesses, and a few spending increases on things like energy and education. And his request is $1.6 trillion in new revenue. So we're going to see if he's able to pull that out.
Yeah, yeah. You know, whatever he does, I was listening to Bill Maher last night, and he said, Reagan's, he just did this to get their attention, and he said, if I would have changed the name of America to Reagan country, they would say, I object, I object. He said, no matter what you do, they are not happy. They object to everything that the president does, and in the cuts that they want are cutting into is Bill last night was saying it's for children. Some of it's for children. It's exaggeration maybe, but it's for children who are born that don't weigh. Like undernourished children that are born, taking money from them.
Well, the poor,
taking money from the
are
poor,
going to get hit by this.
food stamps,
absolutely.
everything else.
Pell grants.
Yeah, and some of the entitlements and so forth. So it's just, it's tough being the president, and it's tough satisfying everybody. But, this thing in Wisconsin may spread to other states.
I think it has spread to other
South-
states, as a matter
is it
of
South
fact.
Carolina, is it? I think
South
they're
Carolina
having-
and Florida, and even now going down to Missouri. You have a senator down there that wants to completely do away with child labor laws.
Oh, get like China?
Yeah, Senator Cunningham down in Missouri there. But I think that this is going to wake the progressives and the Democrats up to see that you must get involved with the electoral process, and we need to get to the polls to vote.
Yeah.
And
Well-
you have to vote your interest.
Well, you do, and not somebody else's interest. There was a guy on it who was talking about, he's written a book, he's had an article in Rolling Stones this week, and he talks about how nobody in Wall Street, and these people from Goldman Sachs, which is the largest investment banker in the world, that have their tentacles into everything, and nobody goes to jail. I mean, this was a conspiracy on the part of the banks with all the money and all of this, and these affected the unions and where they invest their money.
Absolutely.
And how they invest their pension plans and so forth. And nobody on Wall Street goes to jail for this.
Well, all the major corporations are really the reason for all the state deficits that are
exactly.
going on. It's not because of, working people. This is because of corporate greed that has taken
Corporate
place.
greed, and you know what happens? They say the people who are in power in the law enforcement and the legislators are looking for a job when they leave the legislature. So they don't want to go after these bankers too tough because, this might be my employer one
Yeah,
day.
future employer.
Yeah, future employer. So it's...
Oh, that's where wealth is passed down.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's absolutely passed down through government.
But in many instances, there's a prohibition about leaving government and going into private sector on areas where you originally may have made decisions upon.
They do it. The guy with the pharmaceutical
Right.
bill, when they pushed that pharmaceutical bill, he kept everybody up all night till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning till that thing pushed through in one day, and then he resigned, I think, a couple of days later, and took a job making $2-3 million a year.
And that reform hasn't come through. It should go through that,
Yeah.
that you can't go and work for a company or at least be a lobbyist on behalf of